What's happening, people, and welcome back to another episode of All You Can Eat Warriors. And as I always say, All You Can Eat Warriors with a little bit of shark tonight. Actually, interesting enough, a bit of seafood on the platter later on with the ET Stamp podcast coming on. But welcome to my co-host as always, Ash, brother. How you been? How's your week been thus far?
I love my seafood, my brother. I love my seafood. So, yeah, bring on the flake. Bring on the shark. Now, all is good, bro, over here in Australia. Heating up a little bit over here. So, springtime is definitely coming. Summertime is on its way. And obviously, Christmas time, the end of the year is on its way as well. So, hopefully, the boys get a really nice win this weekend to end off, cap off this year. Very disappointing year, but hopefully send off Shawnee and all our stars out there that are leaving us with a nice bang.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Totally. It's the last dance, people, and we've made it to the finish line. Not how we want to finish. Obviously, we want to be further up in the finish. You know, if it's a race of 17 teams, we're not where we want to be. But absolutely. But just quickly on Tony W. Hey, Team Wires members here not seeing any emails and notifications about exclusive stuff. We appreciate that. And in fact, we've got a members only show coming up every Monday from now on. So if you are a member, you will be having exclusive access to all your comments on the members only Mondays. That's kind of an idea I've got at the moment. So Tony, we will be doing that. We'll also be doing live streams with our members as well, if it's some of you may interest you. So we're going to be doing that either on a Monday or at least monthly at the moment. So we will be improving our services. I'll follow up on seeing how notifications and emails get done. Hopefully we can. I'll look into that, but we'll be definitely be servicing our members as of next Monday. So please feel free to come into that show, and all of our members will be prioritized, just like my man Killer and welcome in channel member, and Jazz coming to your channel member as well. Josh Macklin as well. Welcome in. Wires up, boys. Let's go one more time. Absolutely.
Let's go.
Welcome in also Maiva, Dean Colhane, PJ Tucker, Mo. Members only. Yes, Mo. Members only. And as always, Jazz, thank you very much. Hit that like and subscribe. But yeah, man, a lot to talk about tonight.
Before we move on to, bro, just touching on the members, guys, any one of the members and all that, feel free to also, if you got any ideas or anything more exclusive, if you want like maybe a little community forum, maybe something like that we could do as a Wires Up community, let us know, down below. Obviously, the more that the community buys in and the more that you guys want, we can give out. So we're only just beginning, guys. So we're slowly trying to build up the team here. But, if you got any ideas, guys, feel free to chuck them into the chat or the comment section after the show.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're open to it. Ash has talked about maybe doing a Discord. Do we need our own little private chat for our members to talk ideas through? What was the idea you actually had, Ash? You do a Discord and then you get questions from that and then you talk about that on a show.
Yeah, bro. So like, I've seen some YouTubers and that do that where like, they have like a private Discord, send a password out by email to only members only. And we have like our own little chat forum with those guys there that we can either put up on a live stream or we could do, other content with in the future. But, not trying to disregard any of our other fans out there too. Obviously just the members will be paying their hard earned cash out there. So we want to do the best that we could with our members that are putting their hard earned cash into it, but shouldn't take away too much away from our normal shows during the week as well. We'll try and obviously even ourselves out during the week so you guys continue to get some best content on, free content on YouTube as well for all our fans out there.
Absolutely. And look, the sounds of the Discord, we'll get on to that. Guys are very much interested in that. So we'll add that, guys, to the membership package as well. Appreciate all the stuff that we're getting. Look, man, let's we're going to get into our team list. Our guest is going to arrive around 8:45 New Zealand time, so not far away. A lot to talk about, a lot of changes, but we thought we might, yes, the ET stand. Looking forward to coming on the show in a little bit, fellas. Absolutely, man. We're welcoming you in. Looking forward to you as well, brother. But yeah, let's just maybe look quickly at some stats. I know we are kind of towards the end of the road. Quickly shout out to Michael Joblin. Shout out to the Cowboys, doing well. No doubt he's enjoying things. And hopefully
appreciate you, Balo.
Best, mate. Yeah, for the rest of your season, my friend. Yeah, I just thought we look at it's an interesting. We kind of try to piece together this season, and understand what's happening. And we'll go through the stats and just maybe we can point out or pick out some stats that we feel, or try and just figure out through data what's actually going on. So I'm on the Fox Sports NRL tab. I'm just going to start in attack. So currently, this is just on averages. We're currently sitting around 11th for points. Is that? I'm sure that's probably a drop off from last year. We're at 21 points average.
Let me double check it.
So yeah, we see obviously the Roosters are at the top. Storm, Sharks are definitely hitting high numbers. I suppose a little bit of a down year in terms of points for us.
Yeah, we're kind of around about where roundabouts sort of where the doggies are currently right now, around about where the Titans are. So we're still a okay attacking side, but obviously we want to become a little bit better. So we ended the year last year 23.8, so points per game. So 21, we're about 2 points away from that average. So we're not too far of a drop off, but a 23 should get us up where the Broncos are at. And a lot of people know the Broncos is a fairly good attacking side. The Panthers were 24. To be honest, we're not too far away from that. As long as we're not under that 20 mark, that's usually a pretty poor mark overall. Yeah. But when you start seeing the teams like the Roosters, Storm, and all that hitting the high 30s, they're definitely the more high velocity type attacks in the competition. So we're just not there yet with that. But we'll probably touch on a little bit more like what we do well and what we don't do well and the reason why that is not going the way it is. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Tries, obviously 13. I mean, the high clip is the 5.5 of the Roosters, which is phenomenal. But we're averaging 3.7 a game. I suppose it's 20-point mark technically anyway. So we've always said we've been big on 24 points, so that would be 4 tries. Not far off it technically, but you probably would love to see an uptick to the 4.5 range, which is where kind of the Cowboys and Dolphins are. Sea Eagles are 4.5, 4.6. Is that something that you think? Yeah, we if we can get that up a bit next year. I'd
probably love to see us, like, as you kind of touched on, I'd love to see us around our Panthers range. The Dolphins, I think we saw from, our game at Suncorp, that big, shootout that we had with those guys. We got the ability to get up there on those sort of attacking moments and that, just not consistent enough this year with it. But the Dolphins being, again, a high velocity attack, the amount of speed they have on their edges, they got players like Isaiah Katoa that is getting the team around the park in the right edges, right spots to them to end up creating points. You got the hammer out back. You got all those sort of attacks there. Those are the sort of teams you should be looking at. For me, as a more balanced, like, attacking wise, I would love to see us around that 24 mark. That would be a fairly solid effort there. Even a 23 is not too bad, because consistently over the year, you're going to have those tough games of like the 18, 16 games, those moments like that. Even looking at a doggies game that we had earlier on this year, 13-12 is still a really great performance against a team that has a really good defense. But more times than not, you want to be around that 20 mark. But, looking at where the Penrith Panthers ended the year at last year, over a whole year, they were around that 26 mark. So a little bit of a higher tick in that area as well for the Panthers later on in the season. So that's probably, the benchmark where we want to be at. Like, look at the Roosters this year, 31.4, bro. That is like some top numbers, I think, comparatively to the last how many years, that blows everything out of the water at the moment. So attack is starting to get back into the competition, and it's starting to open up a little bit.
Yeah, a quick comment from Dean. Is it a lack of speed? It's part of the bigger pie. I won't equate it right now, Dean, but if you look at those top teams, yes, they do have speed. But I think there's a whole host of issues, and we'll probably get to some of them pretty soon. You go to run meters, and we're up the top there. We're at the top there, 173 average with the Panthers. Total runs, I think. Total runs, sorry. That must be, yeah. So
run meters first top three, yeah. It's a really good little one there. Yeah.
It's starting to paint a picture for you guys that yardage is not an issue for our team. So you can start to kind of tick off boxes as you're going, and start to pinpoint maybe where things need work or where they're doing really well. Line breaks, we are 14th. That would probably add to the picture of what we were seeing is we can get those yardage hit-ups. We can get the yardage, but the breaking of the line, we are technically a bottom 4 team in that space.
But I would say with that, it wouldn't take too long with line breaks to jump us up to top areas, right? So we're only 0.5 of a percentage away from being around the Dolphins range, who I believe is one of a really good attacking side that has really, good line break ability, stuff like that. And looking at the rest of the teams in this competition, this is a pretty close sort of graph here. So line breaks are usually come sometimes, they're few and far in between, depending on what they call a line break and not as well. But again, being in that bottom 4 range is still not a good little look. And it kind of does paint a picture where maybe the added little extra moment to, punch through the line and create something off the back of that is not there though. But the conflicting one is what we're probably about to get into, bro. Tackle busts. Our tackle busts are a top 8 side tackle bust wise. So we got the players that are able to make moments happen, break tackles left, right, and center, but to put it through a line and to create opportunities off the back of that, it doesn't really happen. So, your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it kind of paints a picture that you can break. RTS is probably a big part of tackle breaking. Tackle breaking doesn't necessarily mean line breaks, in my opinion, but sometimes a tackle break is great if you break the tackle and then you can offload. So there's different variables to tackle breaks, but it kind of what's your ultimate view on tackle break? Is it effective? Is it the more tackle breaks, the more success, or is it kind of a stat that I suppose? Yeah, what do you think? It's a good stat that will reflect success if you continue to get that number up high. I mean, the Roosters are at the top, so no doubt it has some
Sharks. Yeah,
it's not like random teams, or maybe the Knights in there that maybe Knights and Dragons, Titans after that. But still, I'm trying to think. Bulldogs is probably on the lower end, but they're still a top kind of 4 or 5 team. So it's a mixed bag as to what it represents. But yeah,
it kind of show like the way I look at these attacking stats, bro, is like it kind of does show also like where defense sits in everything. Like when you look at the doggy stuff like that and have them on the bottom of this sort of graph here, obviously the defense just like shoots them all the way up to being a top 5 team, right? There's a couple of teams here. The Seagulls are another one that's fairly low on this tackle break a bit, portion, but they probably get it more down, like they get down edges a little bit more. They probably create opportunities down their wings. You know what I mean? Where I'd probably say we create more of our opportunities through, you know, the boys coming in the middle and punching through the middle, where it's probably less likely to have line breaks. So that could be another thing that ties into the line break sort of category. Is you look at the teams like, you know, the Seagulls, they jump all the way to being a top 4 line breaking side, and I think that comes down to DCE, the way he sums up, you know, combinations down that edge and ball slinging to, you know, causing those actions. That was one thing I looked at with the stats when Tamade Martin and Sean Johnson were in the lineups. Our line break ability shot up with Tamade Martin in there because he's willing to like play with the ball and just like, you know, throw different looks at an opposite side, where Shawnee this year, due to his injuries, he kind of went with the flow. He kind of just played within himself and he played a little bit more reserved. Like, you know, when we were looking at line breaks, the Knights are at the bottom down there, and the Knights are a really good gauge of that. Like the Knights this year, a very reserved sort of side, which is weird to say when you got KP in your side, but when they've had KP out, they had to go back to being a reserve side and really hold in defensively. So that's really how I look at it, bro. It's like, you know, attack's not everything. You know, you look at teams like they're a bit everywhere, like some of like the teams in the tackle break categories. You got the Knights up there, the Dragons, you know, Titans, not the greatest teams in the world, but still doing it at a high click. The Titans are main one there too. So we could probably uptick more there, but yeah, that's just my thoughts around those sort of stats, sir.
Nah, cool. We'll go into offloads. Yeah, we are one of the low offloading teams, but again, it doesn't necessarily mean it translates to success. The Eels 13.5 is very top. Roosters,
Tigers up there.
Tigers are up there. So you can tell these are teams that are trying to, I suppose, get more points at times. You know, like for a lack of execution, they're actually, they're actually struggling to maybe create enough opportunities. So they're going to the offload a lot. Whereas on the other end, you do have the Seagulls, who are a top 8 team. With less offloads than us, which maybe points to the fact that they're using a lot more structured attack. Would you say that's the case?
Yeah, I'll probably say like on the back of that as well, it kind of shows the two-headed, you know, monster of attacking based sides, right? Like you got like the Eels and stuff that want to throw the ball around as much as they can to create in those opportunities, but that also brings in inconsistencies, and that's really seen with the Eels this year. They've been really, really inconsistent with their football this year. Their forward pack's always been good at getting their arm free, creating something, but off the back of that, you probably see their error rate is probably skyrocketed due to that. The Tigers are another team that struggle with that as well. That, you know, they like to offload the ball, but those also come off moments that they turn the ball over in really bad field position. So, you know, a lot of the better teams down the bottom of here usually don't turn the ball around in really bad positions. Like the Broncos are a weird one. I would have said like players like Paddy Carrigan and that probably would have get the offload off a little bit better and that. But this year they've been really reserved with their offloads. Maybe looking at like, you know, maybe their attacks kind of fallen off just a tad, but you know, other teams here, you know, the Sharkies been in a top 8 sort of side. They're a really good balanced attack. So you can see it everywhere, you know, top 8 side and offloads. They don't really turn the ball over as much in really bad field positions when they have their tails up. So that's kind of where I'm looking at with this is like, you know, more offloads sometimes bleeds in more inconsistencies. And that's where I kind of see it.
Hey, Balo, mate, I can see you're in the back room there. Feel free to hang out, man. But we will bring you on around 8:45 if that's okay. So if you need to bounce, whatever, hang around, no problem. I just don't want to act like I'm ignoring you and being disrespectful. But we appreciate you, brother. Yeah, tackles in the opposition 20. I think this is a really interesting stat because we're 35.
We dominate this, yeah.
And again, it speaks to when you tie that in with tries and line breaks, for the amount of stuff you're doing, it doesn't quite add up to points on the board, which would speak to, you know, I suppose not being as effective on our goal line attack. Would you agree with that, Ash? Is it kind of a correlation?
Yeah,
there?
100%, bro. I would also say though, like, you know, we're a team that gets into such good field position, get down the other end. But like, you know, what you're also seeing in the modern day NRL, like teams defend probably their best football these days within that, you know, goal line defense. You know, especially when you go within the 10, there's not a lot of like, you know, space in between the sides because the boys don't have to get back the full 10. So you see the teams like the Panthers and all that get a lot of opportunities down the opposite end. So it's a good stat to see that we get ourselves in really good field position. But also, some teams, you know, feed off of just defending on their line. Like the Doggies this year are a big team. team of that. Like they, turn teams around so many times that's what causes teams to kind of put their heads down when they don't come out with an opportunity down the other end. We've had it that many times this year where we just punch it aside and we're pinning them on their line. We keep going back to back to back sets. And then as soon as they get the ball, bang, they blow us out of the water. Our heads go down. It's just happened so much this year. So it's one of those stats that's really good for it shows that we're getting good field position, run meters, all that sort of stuff. We get down the other end so easily, but teams seem to find it so easy at the moment just to keep turning us away. And that's where our heads start to go down a little bit. But if we could turn those these stats into a little bit more points, we'll probably look a little bit more positive into the future. And I do think we can turn that around next year.
Yep. No, cool. Completion rate. Yeah, again, we're one of the highest completing sides. And it speaks to the point that, I mean, every yardage, we're very solid. And I suppose in our hit-ups, there's not too many errors. And we're getting through our sets. I'll just keep it moving because I know we're running short of time. Kick returns, we're top 3.
Solid. We'll jump over to the error mark, bro. I think that's a key area to really look at in the competition. It's one of those ones that a lot of I think fans label the Warriors with a high error sort of side. This year we're actually a top 3 side for holding into errors 9.3.
Is that defensive? And discipline?
Yeah, if you go defensive discipline, bro, you should be able to find the error count. But sitting there at 9.3, we're holding it with the Dolphins, stuff like that. Obviously, your higher velocity sort of attacking sides be higher up in this error count. And again, as we kind of touched on before, high offloading sides. The Parramatta Eels, second now with the errors in the competition. It kind of shows their inconsistencies in those moments. The Broncos, for the least offloads in the competition, they're one of the worst error rate in the competition as well too. So, seeing that sort of rate, that's kind of where their inconsistencies lie. That's really where I'm looking at it at the moment is we're such a good side at holding the ball well, getting to where we need to get to. Obviously those little finishing touches is what we've been missing this year. It's what we touched on since the start of this year, bro.
Yeah, no, it is, man. It's actually funny to I'll go quickly back into that discipline area. Penalties awarded. We're top 6.
We're top 6.
Not all penalties are equal. We understand that. We talk about the Stephen Crichton situation, so it doesn't mean but it's still from a relative perspective of where everyone else, and then penalties conceded. We're still 13th, quite low. Whereas, Sharks are a little bit higher, Tigers, Roosters always at the top of that chart, man, no matter what year it is. As long as JWH is there and a few others, they will always be at the top.
With the penalties awarded too, I think that's a good little not so much of where the referee kind of holds his alliance and stuff like that. Don't look at it that way. I think the positive to this stat as well, looking at some of the better teams in the competition, Penrith is the biggest one for it. The reason why they always find themselves getting more penalties awarded than that is more how they run the football, their tackle break ability. Teams, fall off them a little bit easier, we've seen it in the earlier on with the attacking stats. That's where penalties end up coming, and that's really comes from our work rate out of that back end. So our wingers usually get a lot of penalties because of how hard they carry the ball back. That usually ends up in more penalties going our way due to either high shots, due to people falling off tackles, trying to hold on, leg pulls, stuff like that. So it's a positive stat in the way that we play football running wise. Our running of the football has never been the problem this year. And I think our fans should start looking at it that way too. Is all the good areas of our football there is all there, but just little tweaks would have got us to another level. And we never got those little tweaks throughout this year due to a multitude of different things. But that's the way I kind of look at that stat. It's not more so of what teams get the rub of the green. It's more so the fact of, who runs the football the best at moments and who ends up getting those penalties due to hard work out of their back end. Usually that's where you kind of find most of your penalties coming through is working out your back end.
I was actually just shooting over to points conceded, and we're not too bad. We're sitting 9th. Obviously, go down the Bulldogs at 16, Panthers 16.8. Sharkies doing really well this year. Be good to talk to
unreal
Aldo about that the change and what that's come from. But we're not totally bad. I mean, we did have that Titans blowout. Let's not call that. Let's call it that for what it was, and it's probably impacted that, but. Yeah, generally, I think that's the mark where we kind of lose games is about that 23, 24 points.
And I think the key area with points conceding, bro, is the opposite of our attack, right? So our attack, we kind of want to be sitting around that 24 range, and our defense, we want to be sitting in that sub 20 range. So our 19s, you want to be in those teen numbers instead of being in the 20s. So that's where I kind of look at it. You know, all your best teams defensively sit in those teen margins. You look at the Storm, Sharks, Panthers, Bulldogs. That's where we kind of want to be at. Us sitting ninth is not too bad. We've shown that we can like get back into defense in our football, but also, you know, it's not always the best thing as well. Like we're sitting where the Cowboys are currently right now, who are a worse defensive side than what we are. You know, even though Morgan left us, just want to point that out. But yeah, that's kind of where I sit. Is I would love to see us in that teen sort of margin because that's the best, you know, defensive sides in the competition. That's where they kind of sit.
Yeah, and I'm just going actually to run meters conceded. Another interesting one is like we are kind of top 4, top 5 in that. And it's funny because the worst is the Tigers, so we're almost at I think an average set is about 40 meters. Let's say, so we're 3 or 4 sets better than the bottom 4. Again, like when we get in that good defensive grind, we can like keep teams away. Let me just check line breaks conceded. Yeah, we're top 5. So yeah, it's that correlation with we're good in our yardage, keeping everyone down their end. But it's that, you know, it's that blimmin', these line breaks just happening from everywhere, and it's not tight enough for long periods of time. It's probably what it is a consistency over a long period of time.
The way I kind of look at it, bro, is like we're coached really well. So like, you know, our run meters, we get into really good field positions. So that coaching side of things is like really taking over. So our individuals attacking wise seem to be skyrocketing in like a lot of areas, but like for me, what I tied in this year, I think individuals have struggled in moments. They switch off, and that's where you start seeing line breaks getting conceded, stuff like that. Like we never bought in as a side this year. We've always just played football as individuals. And I think a lot of people, we'll talk to obviously Balo a little bit later on when we do our combined, you know, 13 to combined 17. We got a lot of individuals that people would love to have. Like obviously Adam Finnell-Blake going to the Sharkies is a big key piece, right? Individually, they are incredible players, but we needed a complete buy-in. And I think the Sharkies have had a lot of that this year when you have Ronaldo Mulatalo at your club that's got a lot of energy, brings the boys together and that. Unfortunately this year, and I've heard it for a little period, we just haven't had the group come together as much as what we had last year. And I think Webby's been trying to do that all year, trying to keep the same group on the park, to bring them all in together, to have that victory that brings them together. But it just never happened due to a multitude of different things. So that's the reason, that's the way I kind of look at these stats here. Statistically, we're actually not a bad side, but all the little key areas are all individual switch offs that we have in the game that put us into a subpar side this year. That's the way I kind of look at it.
Yeah, I mean, if you go into missed tackles, like we're quite low down. Like there's a lot of like it speaks to what Ash is saying. If we get the buy-in, obviously we're going to go to a more smaller mobile pack. I think moving forward, we should see that defensive numbers drop down at least. Now we're looking at pieces on the offensive side like Metcalf, trying to direct the team around, get some more points on the board, and then we might see ourselves back in that top 8 mix. And I think that's what we're kind of all feeling. But I will leave that there, the stats. I thought they're just a good little look in to what we're doing there. Just keep our minds, everyone's looking for answers. Like myself, I sometimes reflect every day. I'm like, what happened this year, bro? It's just like, I can't figure it out. I can honestly not figure it out. So that's why I'm just like, it's just the more we talk about it, the more we look at numbers, the more we just, air it out. The maybe we find the answers and solutions, so.
Right, shout out to KO, bro. KO gets an absolute pumping this year. I just continue to keep going back and just find points of where everything changed. What happened? Like, what's going on? And it kind of pulls my hair out because you can see multiple times where we look like such a great side that we're going to turn it over and really turn into the side we want to be. And then it just completely falls apart due to multiple different things. So shout out to KO. Obviously, paying for my subscription there 10 times over.
Yeah, shout out Sky Sports now, but blimmin', I miss KO, man. Because, mate, KO, they still have multi-screen? So you can watch the same game?
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Over here, mate, you can only share the one screen. You only put one person on. So, far out. You got to pay the fee for it. But I miss the KO days where, you both, you could have 2 people watching the same game. It's just ridiculous.
Hey, when we get big on YouTube, Balo, let's get one of those jumbotrons in our lounge room. You know what I mean? Get multiple games running, that sort of stuff. That's the way I want to go.
I might have to go back to the old VIP box. For those that know those ways. Okay. Look, let's get into this squad here. A few changes for us, and it's exciting too. Taito Picky at the back, Dallin and Montoya on your wings. Your centers, Chance and Leatoa. We'll talk about that. Luke and SJ's last game, which is, we've had the farewell, but it's coming to a conclusion as of this Saturday night, which is kind of scary to think. AFB and Barnett, your props with Wade Egan at hooker. Barata, Capewell, and Dylan Walker make up your back row. And then your interchange, Freddie Lussick, Tom Ale, Jazz Tavanga, Dimitrik Sifikula. What are you excited about, bro, for this particular squad? It's a different squad, different backline. Anything you're looking for in terms of your excitement levels or things you want to see?
Ali Leotoa back in first grade. Obviously we started to see a little bit of a turn in that game, that Dolphins game. Before the drop ball and him getting knocked out, I understand the drop ball was a pretty poor moment, but I felt like he was starting to find his feet in that game. He was looking really damaging, getting on the outside. He caused that line break to get us in a really good field position. I do believe if he had stayed on the field, maybe he could have been the man to take us home, because he's really finding that energy in the game. Him and Jake Alvarillo had a really good little battle there against the Dolphins. So excited for that. And the obvious one is like Taintu Apiki. Like, I'm excited to see him at fullback again. He's killing it in New South Wales Cup. I do believe that Chancey's only been pushed to centre due to Roger being out this week. This kind of shows that maybe MGT's been told that he's got a few more things to work on. Attacking wise, he's killing Cup, but probably on the defensive end is where, Webby's probably saying, listen, this is what you got to key in on. I think a lot of fans are curious though on how Chancey will go at center. So we'll all be watching. Definitely my whole big thing is I saw him play center in the Kiwis. I wasn't that impressed at him playing center there. I don't think Chance plays preferably as a center. I think he's a preferable fullback. We'll talk to Balo a little bit later on. I want to throw up a question too, his thoughts on Chancey and all that, because I know the fan base is really, I feel like the fan base is slightly off on Chance, and I don't agree with it. Chancey's been one of our most consistent players that we've had for a while. So, I'm excited for those sort of key pieces. That's really where I'm sort of looking at the moment, is mainly our backline due to the injuries, and then us having to bring, those sort of boys in. I think they're going to be really, really solid. Chancey's going to have a big night. Whatever those boys are going to be on for Talakai, that's going to be a big night for those boys. Yeah. And even Iro, bro. Iro's got a really, he runs a lot like Valentine Holmes. He's got that really nice, balanced run. Tackle break ability, got a nice fans, and defensively he's actually held in really, really strong this year. Who I watched him a lot of Cup. I didn't think he was going to be defensively as sound as what he actually is currently right now. So we'll talk a little bit more about that a little bit later on, but that's going to be a big center battle, I do believe.
Yeah, it's Leotoa, you think he'll pitch on the left center or he'll be right? Because I know that's kind of usually numbers wise it is, but chances, I think Kiwis who played left center. What do you think? Do you think they'll flip them over and Leotoa will go with the right with Dallin, or do you think they'll stick with, because Leotoa's been playing left center pretty much the majority, although he did play right center. He played right center against Penrith. What's your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, bro. I'm really not sure which way they're going to go here. Obviously, Chancey, when he played in the front line, we pushed him over to the left edge with the 6 jersey. But that's due to the 6 jersey, Tomato Martin being pushed to our right side with our halfback sort of look. Ali has played both sides. He can play both sides. It's probably the best part about Ali Leotoa. He's one of those centers that, a different sort of center. That's Isaac Tungo's biggest drawback in the competition at the moment. Watching Isaac, I think it's preferable a left side center that's been played on the right. You start to see that a little bit more, with his defensive reads and stuff.
Yeah.
Ali's really good at playing on both sides. So really it could go either way. But I'd probably say our best defensive player would probably have to go up against Sifa. And I do believe that Webby will probably look at Chancey being our most experienced defensive piece. That's going to go on Sifa Talakai, and that's going to be a big, big night for him.
Yeah, Sifa Bluen. Yeah. There's been a massive
He's a
night.
freak.
Just quickly looking, that front row is pretty much the same front row we've pulled out all year. I just quickly look at the bench. Bench is similar too, otherwise with Freddie Lussick, Dimitrik coming in, which is great. We've enjoyed watching
Unreal.
Dimitrik. So hopefully he gets a good shot there. Tom Ale, him as well. He's been a bit. I mean, he played cup last week, Tom.
Yep.
Probably had a solid hit out. Freddie Lussick back in. Well, maybe just shoot back up to the halves. Luke Metcalf, Sean. It's been a tough few weeks for them, and I know this is the halves pairing that took us to the finals last year, despite Metcalf getting injured. What can we expect from them? It's just bad timing with Luke's injury and Sean's injury. They just couldn't reconnect, before the season's end. But is there anything we can take out of this? Them playing together one more time?
Yeah, I think it's just it's more of the passing of the torch that I'm sort of like kind of looking at. Luke's actually like, look at that last game against the Dogs. He had a lot of the better attacking moments in that game. Thinking of the 2 tries that came down his edge, his like passing ability really showed out in that game, and also the ability of him burning that A defender to create those sort of looks. So that's really, really nice. Obviously, Shawnee is just trying to get through his end career at the moment. Form-wise, he's definitely not up to, Sean Johnson of last year, as we all know. But, I'm sure that with the energy being this is his last game, obviously a club that he played for as well in the past, I'm sure he'll definitely be up for this one. So I'm expecting an uptick in energy in those sort of connections there. Obviously, Luke Metcalf used to play for the Sharkies as well. But yeah, very similar things to what I saw last week, but I think it's more of a passing a torch. I'm sort of kind of noticing a little bit more now. It's like Luke's definitely going to be the one for our future, and Shawnee's kind of being the one now to be like, this is your now, bro. So he'll probably put Luke more into places to make things happen instead of Shawnee making things happen, as we used to know.
Yeah, I mean, Metcalf's the one we want to watch. I mean, I know Sean will do a decent job, and he'll be there. We might get a magical moment at Shark Park. We never know. But I think for me, just watching, I think Luke will. I want to keep watching Luke, and he's been popping off on the TV screen. I mean, we saw Capewell. He put Capewell through, put Montoya through. We just like to see him get a little bit more involvement. Maybe even directing the team around a little bit at times. But it is exciting. It is exciting to see Luke yeah, I think any other areas. Look, that forward pack, it's been pretty good, but at the same time, pretty, hit and miss. I know Murata. We could probably talk a bit Murata. He's been a bit off. Let's be honest about. Anytime I do a video, I'm ruining careers here with these videos. I've got to stop doing them. I did Wade Moses the other week, and he's gone. He's gone. Murata's video. I'm not going to do any more videos because it's just ruining these guys' careers. How can you put it down to Murata? It's just the little details. He's like he's forgotten to play football.
From what I'm noticing, bro, I don't know if he's coming in with niggling injuries. I'm really not sure, because a lot of the moments that I've seen Murata, it comes down to his fitness doesn't seem like he's up to standard again for some reason. That Raiders game was the biggest noticeable drop off that we've seen from him. Like, he had some of his best games, like the Cowboys game was the one that you obviously noted, like with the video work. And he looked incredible. Like, fitness wise, he was jumping off his spot and just moving across and shifting at edge defense. It was some of the best defense we've actually seen in edge like throughout this year, really. But then that Raiders game, he was taking easy outs, if that makes sense. Like, there was that moment, I'm pretty sure, where Hudson Young just drove out a dummy half and scored. I think that came off the dummy half run or whatever. But if you watch that play again, Murata could have filled in that space within the inside to end up creating the gap, but he actually overnumbered on the opposite short side. Like, they only had a winger on that side. We had the center and winger on that side, and Murata chose to go with the center and winger and create a 3-on-1 defensive option when he could have filled into our middle and been a bigger body. Because in memory, in that game, Tane was playing in that fullback role, and when we play in our defensive line, Tane's a small body that obviously gets spotted on. Murata should have covered with him, helped him out. We've seen moments like that. So I don't know if he's got injuries or what's going on there. Maybe he's a little bit like his ego's probably down a little bit with the team not performing. I'm not too sure. But I think there's probably an option next year that we could look at. What we wanted to start this year is maybe Murata being more of a middle type of player. You know what I mean? He does look a little bit more depressed. I would say at times. Great insight.
I was actually there at the game when he let the try into Kiko, and AFP was just ripping him in a new one, just getting right into him. And then Marata's looking up at the screen. He's waiting for the replay to come up. And he sees himself come up, and he's like, he swears or whatever. I'm just like,
But imagine
Just one of those
like,
years.
looking at the replay for your era, you're like waiting for it to come up. You're like, hurry up, and then you just see this hole that you've left in the defensive line. It's like, I would even look at this and be like, no, I'm not going to look at that. But good on him for like
head down,
looking at his era and addressing it. But yeah, nah, I got to shout out to Marata. But yeah, Capewell's been looking a lot better though. I got to give credit.
He's been unreal.
Yeah.
I think everyone's starting to agree. They're starting to notice that Cape's turned around ever since after Origin. We started to see more out of Capewell. He got back with obviously off of injury, played in Origin, and he got back to what Capewell does well, all the little areas, but he's even running well. I think he's averaging within the last like 5 weeks, like over about that 100 mark. And like, I think he's scored consistently nearly the last like how many weeks, bro. He's been one of our better attacking options. So hope Warriors fans are looking at that. I know there was a lot of questions on Kurt Capewell to start the season, whether he was a good signing or not. He's starting to show that later on in the season now where everything's kind of gone to shit. But hopefully that's something that he can bring into next year and really elevate our game, because he's definitely a good experience piece. And if we see more of what we see now, I think he's definitely a great option for our future there on the edge.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Just quickly, last point before we go with Baldo here. Dylan Walker. I suppose that combo of him and Tohu, I think you got to give Tohu a little bit of credit as well. I know we mentioned that Tohu's probably on his last legs, but Dills as kind of a majority playing ball playing lock, it's been quite difficult for him. I think at times the workload, the consistency. He hasn't like disappeared and fallen off a cliff. He's still very solid. I got to give him credit there. But have we missed that combo between him and Tohu, kind of working as a unit? What's your read on that one?
I think the biggest thing we miss out of those two is like, we know Tohu as our tractor. Like he's our guy that just like continues to get through work. He's not the quickest player in the world and all that, but he just like, he keeps, turning up in moments. He's, tracking through, and hopefully with the, free off season now where he can get his body right, he can come in next year and, injuries don't hold him back. Cause I think that could be a key piece. The reason why we kind of look at him at the moment and going, he's more so to the end of his career than the start. But I think the key piece that we missed with that sort of combination is the variety in our attack, right? Like where a lot of like the best players in the competition say like, the key to a good attack as well is to have different speeds. I think when we had Dylan Walker come on, he's got that fast pace from the middle. He's got great footwork. He just a really good up tempo piece that we have off the bench. And we kind of lost that now to where Dylan Walker is still on the field, and his impact's incredible. Like he gets through a ton of work and stuff, but I think he's more vital too as well, where we chuck him on there, he speeds up the ruck, everything goes really well, and teams kind of get blown away by those moments, and Webby has that piece that he can chuck on in moments and turn the game back our way. That's kind of what I feel like I'm missing with Dylan Walker. And I think with Aaron Clark coming over, hopefully, he's still rumored to come over, still hasn't been signed yet, but if he's rumored to come over, I think that three-piece connection of Tohu, Aaron Clark, and Dylan Walker would be really good for that. Have moments where we play a little bit of slow-paced football, but really wrestle the game and control the game. And Dylan Walker will come on and just blow the team out of the water through the ruck. So that's kind of the way I kind of look at it.
Oops, absolutely, man. We'll keep talking about it. We've got to do a few combined 17, so we'll bring up the players as we come. Just quickly, Wills T. Levon, do you reckon you can do those videos in my position next year? Put those powers of jinxing to good use. We will be. Me and Ash have been talking about it. We've got a new software. I've done some videos lately where I've got lines and highlighters, and it's a bit more professional than the stuff I've been doing. So we'll be doing. I think we'll be definitely be doing some more analysis next year, and actually adding that part to our members as well, their access to that knowledge and understanding. So we appreciate you.
How's Tactic Thursdays sound, bro? Tactics Thursdays. I think that sounds pretty cool.
just find a name and we'll put it on that day. So it's something that rhymes with T. Texas Thursday. Yeah, a little bit weak on the tongue.
Yeah, it's tac.
It's a little bit tricky there. Anyway, man, we're going to bring on our special guest here. He's been waiting patiently in the back rooms here.
Thank you, Balo.
Baldo, welcome in, my man. Welcome into. Oh, excuse us. There we go.
There you go.
G'day, mate.
What's happening, Balo?
Oh, I'm just so pleased that I'm on YouTube Rugby League royalty on.
Oh, come on.
Oh, here it is. Turn it up.
You got like Tactics Tuesdays or Thursdays, or is it just Tuesdays with you guys? So, there's a lot of good quality analysis there with the attacks and the different strategies there. God, just actually, all jokes aside, congratulations on a brilliant channel. You guys do a
Sure,
terrific
brother.
job. Certainly the Halicon, as we launched this year, we kind of went around and had a look at different teams' channels, and I've got to confess, your one's probably one of the stronger ones, if not the top one. So,
Oh, thank you, bro.
Saying that your team's not as good as your YouTube channel, really?
Oh, I know, right? This year, bro. This year. I had to be this year.
I tell you what, coming back and looking at that first match of the season, you just said, oh, what went wrong? I think Wade Egan getting injured in the last 15 minutes of round 1 against the Sharks was actually a real bummer for you guys. I thought you were going to win. And so if you win that game, I know you say you can't win a premiership in the first round, but it would have. It just sets the energy levels a little bit differently. So yeah, I've got some respect for the Warriors. And look, 2002 still hurts me, fellas. So Ali Lauatiti, how good was Big Ali? So that 2002 Warriors team, look, it sucked getting knocked out by them, and then seeing them lose the next week was even more annoying. Actually, not more annoying than the Sharks getting knocked out, but that was certainly a special team. And looking forward. Let's chat. Look, I could chat Sharks until I'm
oh, bro, love it. Talk about Ali Lauatiti, bro. Talk about Ali Lauatiti. We brought his nephew in him, Ali Lauatiti, this week. So hopefully he does some very similar things, hey, on the football field.
Well, hopefully not this week, but maybe next week we can see the value. Just going back to some of the things that you guys said, the pick of the centre that you guys picked. Shark's strategy is a little bit different to the Sean Johnson days, which was those block plays, and Sean Johnson and Matt Moylan were just so slick in attack. And when we were coached by John Morris, they just had a whole bunch of moves. Whereas Fitzgibbons had a much simpler game plan, and that is early ball to Ramian, Iro, or Talakai, whoever is in the centres. So if you're wondering if Big Old Cockstad can defend in the centres or not, you're about to find out. So,
he will not become. He won't become Morgan, bro. Of how many years of Manly? Won't be that game.
Oh, he's still worrying about it. But yeah, there's some good players in the. Well, look, for starters, the Warriors team has more Sharks premiership winners than the Sharks team does, being number 12, and then. Look, your 5'8" Luke Metcalf was highly controversial when he departed the Sharkies. There were a lot of schools of thoughts thinking that we should have kept him instead of Braden Trindle because we thought he could come through the team. He's good, Luke Metcalf.
Well, that's it. There's someone that we actually wanted to bring up with you, my brother. I think LeBron had a question on Luke Metcalf, bro. LeBron, have a shoot. Shoot it. Shoot it.
We just wanted to ask you, what do you think he can be a solid NRL half? Like, from what your guys' experience with him was, and
look,
because you would have watched a lot of Newtown too. Sorry, my brother. You would have watched a lot of Newtown Jets, and like he was like playing fullback halves in those days too. Like, what's your thoughts on Luke Metcalf?
He's just a good dynamic player. Good in attack. Good kid. Oh yeah, we were really bummed when I thought he could organise a team around as well. I actually thought when he was with Sean Johnson with us, they actually looked pretty good. So it was rather ironic that he ended up going across to you guys. Would I trade Luke Metcalf for Braden Trindle right now? I think I probably would, actually. So,
you would?
Yeah, he's pretty good, Metcalf. Yeah, I think you got a winner there. I think he's certainly going to be better with Sean Johnson. I worry for you guys with, what happens post Sean Johnson. I know you're going to ask me, well, what was the Sean Johnson impact? Problem we had with Sean Johnson, he's just bloody injured all the time.
Yeah, we know that pain.
It's 18 matches, 16 matches, and 10 matches in 3 seasons with the Sharkies. He's our player of the year in 2020. He's the 54th captain of the Cronulla Sharks, Sean Johnson. So you have those players who like Sean Johnson is out and out a Warriors player, right? Yeah. And then they play a couple of years for another team. And so there's two schools, there's two types. There's Trent Barrett, and then there's Lance Thompson. Right? Barrett came to the Sharks, and everyone still doesn't like Trent Barrett, right? And Trent Barrett is a sports player. But Lance Thompson also came to the Sharks, and everyone loves Lance Thompson. So Sean Johnson is certainly in the ladder. He is very popular amongst the Sharkies fans.
I love that.
Yeah, you always want the legend players to go out on a home match. So it's a shame that he didn't get that, but. Look, he'll get a nice reception at Shark Park on Saturday night. There was, I can't remember, it was 2014 or 15. There was one match where you guys were down with 8 points, and he just blitzed us. I'm sure you remember that one.
Yeah. I thought you were talking about the one where we had 3 of your guys sent off and you still beat us. What was that, 2022?
Those memories.
Oh, that was so bad. I felt so embarrassed. We had like 10 players on the field.
Look, when Ash comes on the ET stand tomorrow, we could talk about that. But right now, we're just focusing on, we're on a Warriors channel, so therefore we're going to talk about positive things. But yeah, just continuing on, Sean Johnson. Like, I believe Britton Nakora is the top second rower, edge back rower in the game now. And I'm sure you guys probably will agree with me on that front, given that he is New Zealand. I think Sean Johnson made him. That the 3 years that he spent, Britton Nakora came into the team with Sean Johnson and that 2019 team, with Britton Nakora just running off him on that side, certainly set up his career here. And just the knowledge of the runs. I think the Sharks aren't as attacking as they used to be, but Britton Nakora is still feeling the benefits of those days with Sean Johnson. So, God, he's just a legend, Sean Johnson, isn't he? Now, I will ask you, though. Sean Johnson or Stacey?
Go Levon.
Yeah, I'm more of the old school. I've been thinking about it a lot, but I'm still a big Stacey fan. But I'm a little bit older than Ash. Ash, you can tell your story a little bit about, save that for the ET stand maybe. But kind of came in the Sean Johnson era. Yeah, I'm more of a Stacey Jones guy, but still love Sean. Yeah,
he's an iconic player, Stacey, isn't he?
For me, bro, it's Shawnee for me. But again, like for me, it's different eras, right? Like when I was coming up, like I was talking a bit more about it. But like when I was a little boy, I'm an Aussie boy, so I was watching a lot of up in Queensland. You're just watching a lot of Broncos games and stuff like that. Darren Lockyer's and Stacey Jones was unreal to watch in times. But the reason why I fell in love with the Warriors was Sean Johnson, bro, and like some of the stuff that guy could do on a football field, like, when I looked at my dad, who was a Broncos fan, and where he tore up the Broncos at Suncorp Stadium, beating about 5 blokes and scoring, I just turned to my dad and I was like, that's the reason why I love the Warriors, Dad. Just that guy. And he gave me those moments, but I wouldn't fight back anyone that says Stacey, because I think Stacey gave the older generation those moments as well, right? So for me, there's such a really tight, group. Both won golden boots, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's real tight one, that one.
Yeah.
That's tough.
What about you, Baldo? What are you going
Look, I was so excited when Sean Johnson was signed with the Sharks. It was a bit of an emergency signing with the departure of Valentine, and we had Moylan, Chad Dugan, Sean Johnson kind of floating around those halves and 5'8" halfback and fullback position. It just seemed a little bit of an emergency buy, but I was such an admirer of his. I think the Sharks needed Sean Johnson more than they needed Stacey Jones in 1999. But geez, Stacey Jones would have been pretty handy in that 1999 Sharks team. The 2002 team. And ironically enough, I think maybe if Stacey Jones plays for us in 2002, we probably win.
Get over the top, yeah.
So, it's tough to say. It's different eras. Both are terrific. Just play Sean Johnson at 5'8" in your team of the century here.
100%, bro. You're sneaking him in there every day of the week. He played 6 for a decent period.
Well, he was 6 for the Sharks pretty much his whole time with Chad Townsend. But he got injured. He was in the end of 2019. He played 18 matches, but they were just a little bit busted going up against Manly in the finals, and then the year later. Yeah, just looking at my notes, and God, it's so brutal when you go back and look at this stuff. I'm like, oh, what happened? I'm like, oh, that's right. Sean Johnson wasn't picked in the finals and he didn't play. And then the next year he was out from round 10 and we were done.
I think the biggest one, bro, is the year that, what was it, 20, I think it was either 2019 that he had these 20 try assists season or over 20 try assists season, like close to 30 try assists, wasn't it? Right? He had that one season, him and Britton Nakora. It was 2020.
Yeah.
Bro, I think like a lot of fans in the competition totally forgot about that year. Was that the year he won the Player of the Year as well?
Yeah, he was Player of the Year.
I think that was his best season.
Wow. Yeah, that was certainly his best season for us. He was captain. He was named captain for a couple of games. Just the problem with Sean was just his defense. And so because we also had Matt Moylan, you can handle one of them but two of them's
not so.
two of them's pretty tough. And so you're going to ask me, well, what's been the difference? Because I heard you say, the Sharks' defense has been really good this year.
Yeah.
Nico Hines and Braden Trindle's defense is just better than Matt Moylan's. And so that just makes a big difference. And then we've also noticed that when we've had Nico Hines out, we've typically been playing with one half, with Cam McInnes basically being the 5'8". And so you take out Nico Hines, your worst defender, and you replace them with Jack Williams, who's arguably our best defender. And that simpler style of footy can beat the lesser teams. We were starting to get caught out a little bit by the Knights, so we're welcoming back, a proper halves combination this week. But yeah, the Sharks, pretty simple strategy under Coach Fitzgibbon. It's early ball to the centres. It's quick play the balls through the power players of the big bench. So the four bench players, like goodness, like even the Warriors bench isn't bigger than ours with Jack.
He's going to get a lot bigger next year, bro. You're going to get a lot bigger next year with AFB. It's going to be a very interesting sort of look aside. We'll touch on it a little bit more, but first thing, I wanted to go back
tomorrow. We'll talk.
We'll talk AFB tomorrow.
Save some up.
You guys
all right, but we'll touch on the halves pairing though, bro, because you did touch on the halves pairing. Like at the moment, obviously the big talking point around like just NRL, like looking at the Sharkies, is your best halves combination. I know there's a lot of Sharkies fans out there at the moment going, Atkinson's our half, you got Trindle's our half, you got, Hines our half, and who's the best combination you want to throw together there? Like, I think it's very similar to what we dealt with this season where we had Sean Johnson, Tamati Martin, and two probably ball-playing halves that didn't really click together as well, where where I feel like you've played your best football is usually you have like a mad ball running six, and then you're having one player that's pretty much just running the attack and is the orchestra. I think it was when I started falling in love with the Sharkies attack. You go back, I got receipts on this, but I used to love your attacking side because you're a really heavy tram line sort of side. So you'd play for your edge back rollers like your Teague Wilton and your Brinton Nakota, where you'd go like a long shift, right? You move a big forward pack around, you hit on a tram line straight on a half, and it'll open up your Nico Hines' best option, short side option. He loves a short side raid. Or he could, go back on the inside, open up that open side shift that we struggled with last year, even that game where we ended up beating you late on. You still ripped us apart in early parts of that game for that exact same options, right? Do you see that your better halves is like Nico Hines and Atkinson due to your attacking threat that way? Or do you like Braden Trindle and Hines as a combination still, and you still think there's something there?
Look, it's a few Sharks fans have dared to ask if Nico will not be fit. Like, come on, guys. It's Nico
I know.
Hines. He is the poster child of the NRL. I've never seen a Shark sponsor get so much value in my lifetime. Like I'm driving down Manly, and there's a big freaking poster of Nico Hines with a big Aramax thing there. I'm like, look, he's $1 million player. What do I think of Nico? He's the 5th or 6th best halfback in the NRL. And I think Sean Johnson's currently probably the 6th or 7th best halfback in the NRL. It wasn't currently. A couple of years ago, he was higher. The Daily M year, he was arguably 1 or 2. So the Sharks, let's just not get into any illusions. The Sharks have done better recently because we played the weaker teams. We need Nico Hines in the top matches, and we need him at halfback, and Braden Trindle will be his partner. There's no question that is the strongest team. Atkinson is a really good running player, nudgy boy from up in Queensland. He's got a bit of that rugby in him.
Queensland boy, baby.
Player Atkinson, and it'll be shame. Look, if I was starting the 18th team, I'd be getting Atkinson as my 5'8". I'd be trying to get him as much as possible. He's a terrific player. In terms of a deputy for the halves, and I think that is the strength of the Sharks. So the Sharks wingers are particularly strong with Mulatalo and Katoa. I would say those two players are the strongest wing combination in the NRL. And, top teams don't typically have gun wingers is not the reason why you're saying you win, but the way they truck the ball out from danger. And so Stone Street is quite a good replacement for them. You've got Talakai who comes in for Rami and an Ero, and there's an ongoing argument of which one of those should play. Talakai is such a good player. And then the big thing for the Sharks this season has really been that the lead front rowers of Toby Rudolph and Hamlin Ueli have not been as good. And so you've noticed that the Sharks have let in big leads at the start and then, 12, 18 points behind and then come back. And the Sharks have done better recently because Toby Rudolph started to hit a bit of form. And so it's now obvious that Rudolph and Kafusi are the two best starting props. Yeah, like we've just got a whole bunch of depth there. We probably don't have depth at hooker, and Kennedy's defense has been a little bit suspect over the years, but it's a little bit better now. I guess if Kennedy was injured, we'd probably play Atkinson at fullback, I would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Nico might be back in the team this week. He's been named at jersey 23 or 27 or something crazy, so it wouldn't surprise me. But also, our mail was that his injury was bad, so who knows?
Leave him off for a week, eh? Leave him out for a week this week, right? Leave him out, you know what I mean? Just leave him out for a week, but...
Yeah, we need to win one match to shore up a top 4 spot. And the Sharks never beat Manly away, like ever. So we need to win this week. And the theory I have on that is that it's the longest day trip that's done in rugby league that's not where you get a hotel. So if we go play you guys, we fly over to Auckland and we stay in a hotel. Whereas when the Sharks play Manly, we get a damn bus and the guys are knackered after a 2.5 damn drive. 2.5 hour drive.
It takes so long to get over there.
I'm convinced that's the reason, because for years it was the other way around. So yeah, but yeah, I think the Sharks won't take you guys lightly. We've been burnt by the Warriors before. We know that the Warriors are good when you've got absolutely no reason to win and nothing to play for.
Legit. It's really that way.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true. It's like, yeah, but it's like they'll be so spirited. You're like, where's that been all year? So,
yeah.
So
Wait, I just want to ask you about, I know you talked about the difference being the halves pairing being able to tackle, but I'm sure there's something more to it. Do you think Fitzgibbon has actually made his imprint on the team and they're all buying in, or do you think Fitzgibbon is kind of a genius in some ways, or is his game plan so simple that it's just really easy and effective, and you got the talent to do it? What can you pin it down to? That what's been the difference this year?
What, this year versus the last years?
Yeah, because I thought last year we pumped you guys, and I thought you guys were a little bit like, you had strong starts, and then but then I'm thinking this year it's a little bit different, man. Like I know you got some up and down scores, but you're in the finals.
Been in and around the finals. We had 2 seasons ago with Fitzy, we were second and bowed out. And then last season we just also it's been pretty tragic actually, the damn final series with Fitzgibbon, to be honest. It's
last year.
Well,
what can you pinpoint that to, bro? Like, what do you feel like as a Sharkies when you look at your team list here, and like, you know, I know you don't really want to talk. Well, we'll leave AFB in that, but like, is there an area where you kind of see it? Like, because we touched on it like last year when we're kind of looking at the Sharkies, it was more of the fact of like you could just feel that they had like, not say a soft underbelly, but they had those moments where they just like, they can turn up one week and look like one of the best teams in the competition. We've seen that multiple times this year. Like, you know, that Magic Round game against the Roosters, where the Roosters were absolutely red hot. They were incredible. And you just turned up and you went on a scoring fest and just looked like you were going to be on something, right? And then you had the game like the Panthers, who the Panthers dominate majority of sides, right? But like, for you guys to go from that to also looking like that as well, like what's the key area you'd love to see that probably would propel you into thinking that you're a bit more safer, and like when you get the finals time, you'd be like, I think we got this. I think we're okay. Like, because I can kind of see now that you're kind of like, ooh, there's something not right, maybe. I don't know.
Well, the past couple of seasons, we've been a little busted going into the finals, and we've done our dash earlier in the season. So I remember thinking last season that only Britton Nakora was really in, you know, when you've got those players in form, we're like, oh yeah, he's just playing out of his skin.
Unstoppable.
Like Roger is not playing as well as he can right now, and you've had him in previous years where it's like, oh, Roger's just unstoppable. Same thing with Sean Johnson. So at the moment, the Sharks have got more in-form players. So Brayley's now in form. Nika is still in form. Talakai's been good. Ramian's been good. So we got a bit more energy coming in, and we don't have the same injuries. In the past couple of seasons, since the premiership season, really, the Sharks have just had busted players, missing a winger, or having to play Kurt Capewell on the wing, or like something crazy like that.
We know about that.
We know about that this year, bro.
Kurt Capewell. But I think the Sharks, look, we've still got the emotional fragility. And one thing that always worries me with the Sharkies is that, you know, those refereeing decisions that when those 50-50s go against the Sharks, I just feel we're not as well placed to deal with that adversity as some of the other teams and the top teams. But the last couple of weeks, we've been a little better. Look, I kind of wasn't expecting us to win a finals match last season or the season before. I expect us to win one this season and bow out in the prelim is my expectation this season. But I'm pretty pessimistic Sharks fan. Guys, I went to nine grand final qualifying matches live and saw the Sharks lose 9 in a row before 2016, before they finally won one. So if you Warriors fans think you've had a painful time, let me tell you, you haven't. It could be much worse.
You made the finals though, bro. You tasted that success. We haven't had consistency like that.
We all know that the Sharkies had some pretty bad seasons. Let's just be abundantly clear. But what's a little bit? I think Fitzy has simplified the attack, so the errors aren't as high. So back to the point around the centers getting the early ball, the attack with Moylan. Moylan was just so good at those quick out the back plays with the sweeping plays. We don't see that as much more. Now it is earlier ball to the centers or the angled balls from Nicker and Teague and Talakai, which makes the attack a little simpler. And then just the speed of the play the ball. So I think we're taking a bit more advantage now of the Cam McKenna 60-minute, 65-minute play. So and with Brayley playing a full 80 minutes, it means that you're not asking Royce Hunt or Braden Hamlin-Uele to play more than 20 minutes. So you've got Hunt, Uele, and Hazelton all playing 20 minutes each, which is just massive. So these guys come on, this massive hit up from Uele, and then you've got another one from Hunt, and then they set up for the play to Big Tommy, who's so bloody tall that he just kind of leans over. He just leans over and scores. So, it's a pretty good team, the Sharkies, but conscious. Yeah, do you want to do your nine team? Sorry, I'll just take it over you. How good's your show?
Yeah, you're right, bro. We love it.
Yeah, we're doing focusing on the Sharkies, man, because we do our stuff early, but I'll save some as well for no doubt. Ash will be jumping on the ET Stand podcast.
So Ash will be on a pre-recorded video on the ET Stand that will release probably on Wednesday or Thursday. We'll give the audience in the world
and everyone in the chat. Go and follow guys. I didn't even say this, but go and follow ET Stand podcast on YouTube, all platforms, I believe. Instagram.
Yeah, we just got up on Apple and all those other ones. Geez, that's an experience.
Yeah, love that, mate. How's that experience?
It's pretty good. But we're trying to be a YouTube first platform because I just feel that that's a little bit better, and I quite like the comments and the characters coming through. So we have a few commenters. The biggest feud is there's a guy who watches our show and he always hates it when we say that Talakai should play centre. So Paul, shout out to you.
Oh, we got one of those as well.
And then my favourite one is when the guys say, "Oh, I'm sick of you guys saying this. I'm never watching this again." And then next week they're back, "Oh, you're still saying this."
They keep coming back, bro.
But the beauty of it is, so we're 5 mates that all sit in the ET Stand. We all grew up in the 80s, so Andrew Eddinghausen is our most favourite player. And so, look, there's a certain, I don't want to use the woke term privilege, but there's a little bit of privilege that the group of us have from knowing that, we spend a couple of grand on tickets in the ET Stand, sit right behind the Sharks players bench. They've got connections into the club and have experience of access to the club that other people don't have. So our vision and mission was just to create a community of people that love watching the Sharks and connect them with a group that sits in the ET Stand and just talk Sharks and footy the way you guys do. I'm maybe not as learned as you are, Ash, on the strategies and the run and the ball play. So, no, you're pretty good. Well, I've just worked out we need a you. So if there's a Shark, we need a you.
I'm not that good, mate. I'm not that good, bro. I just watch way too much football and sport. My missus hates it, but it does me well when it comes to these sort of stuff.
Do you watch much soccer, Ash, or any New Zealand soccer?
I love soccer, bro. I'm more of an EPL fan than that. So Arsenal is my team. So I love the Gunners.
Was because I'm a Nottingham Forest podcaster, and Chris Wood, of course, is the.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so I'm
way.
I'm on the Nottingham Forest.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Yeah, and I'll have you know that a year and a half ago, Forest fans were complaining about Chris Wood, and I said, he's going to come good.
Mm-hmm.
Hey,
look at him now.
I'm a Tottenham fan. So we're having issues with Brendan Johnson, man. What can you tell me about Brendan Johnson? He's getting torn up by the Tottenham fans.
Brendan Johnson's really good. Just you got to keep playing him. So
Okay.
Johnson's very good. But Chris Wood is a terrific.
Chris is great. Yeah, Chris is
Terrific
great.
New Zealand. He's chest control. So if there are any New Zealand fans out there, now that you're in the rugby league off season and you've got nothing to watch, go sign up to however you guys watch the Premier League and start watching Nottingham Forest, because Chris Wood is our star player. And I think Chris Wood is the all-time New Zealand goal scorer, is he?
Probably, yeah. Chris is, he's probably been the longest in the Prem. I don't think there's any other players that really played Prem. We had Winton Roof. I don't know if Winton played in Europe somewhere, but Winton is considered like one of the greatest players of all time. But Chris Wood might be up there. I have no idea. Yeah, but that's a good one.
Well, he's like one of the best goal converters in the competition at the moment too, right? Like he's an absolute freak in front of goal. And I knew obviously Newcastle fans were going absolutely mental, saying he's the worst thing since last, he's the worst thing ever. And he shows out in other teams like that, and people just don't see the ability of him. You know what I mean? Like in front of goal, he's not that bad. He's actually all right.
How good is it sorry for the rugby league fans, but how good is it when a player parts his club and then plays for another team? Chris Wood scored a hat-trick against his old team. So imagine, how good is it? Like I did enjoy it when Sean Johnson helped us beat you guys, for example. So, how good is it? How good is it? Yeah, it'll be so annoying this weekend if Sean Johnson and Metcalf, especially actually probably worse if Metcalf.
Luke Metcalf.
Yeah, Metcalf.
That one will suck. But yeah, then there's some. And then looking at these other, I tell you what, Nicole Clockstad, I don't like him. I hope he gets.
You're not a fan.
Nah, he's just that Raiders vintage, isn't he? And so the Sharkies.
Sharkies Raiders. I see you. I see you.
Baldo, we're going to get into a combined 17. I think you'll really enjoy this. So you can save that we'll get into it right now. What I'm going to do is bring up the share screen here. This is our kind of. We do this every week. Ash, if you don't mind, just changing those around. So, yeah, we do a combined 17. And, yeah, we it's great to have you on. And we'll try to be a bit fairer. Usually it's 17 Warriors players every week.
Well, look, all right. So let's put in, for starters, we'll put Sean Johnson in at halfback, yeah?
Oh, okay. Well, that's respect that. I respect that. We don't have to have that.
Okay. Sean Johnson in.
I respect that. Let's do that right now. I like that. Okay. We'll start at fullback. Look, we got Kennedy versus Tuopiki. Easy answers, Kennedy.
We won't argue Tane there. No.
Yeah.
Will Kennedy's underrated, bro.
You cool with that?
He's not as informed as he has been past seasons. He's better with Sean Johnson and Moylan. But I tell you what, did you see that bomb try that he got this week where he's just perfectly perfectly. I'm just looking at Will's tees. Boldo just reminded me the Sharks have had some all-time pests. Yeah, we certainly have.
Hey, Boldo, did you listen to Peter's interview this week with
It's in our group chat for us to go listen to. I haven't. It's
awesome.
Yeah,
Blimmin rates. There's a good segment on him and Ennis talking about. Ennis was like the key signing of that team. Would you agree with that? Just quickly.
Ennis was the most hated non-Shark ever until he became a Shark. He certainly lifted the professionalism, and just seriousness. And then, once I think him and Maloney were just, like we can win here.
Yeah.
And if you get those, mature players in the later stages of their career, like Lewis, we also good at good value. We weren't paying stupid bucks.
Lewis. Yeah,
we weren't paying stupid bucks. Like every rugby league NRL player is a good player. They're all good, right?
100%.
What you want to do is you've got to get them at the right price. So
that's right. Yeah,
Sean Johnson at the money we were paying him was too high, and he wasn't right for us. And that, but when he came back to you guys, he's a terrific signing for us originally, and. Any of these players at the right price, they're good. So, I'll be interested, Will T. Who were the other pests?
Who else you got there, Will?
Who are the pests, Will?
Bring him up.
Let's go right winger. Who's your right winger? Is that Katoa or is that
Sione Katoa?
Sione Katoa is the right winger. Jeez, you're going to struggle to convince me that the Sharks wingers shouldn't be the wingers, fellas.
I'll elevate Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. That's our right winger currently right now.
Well, we'll run with Katoa because Ronaldo's not playing. So
Ronaldo's not playing. Do you want to go that way? We'll go that way, Levon. We'll go one side. We'll go Dal. We'll go the other side, Sione Katoa. Because I know you're a Sione Katoa fan, Levon. Levon's always like really liked what he's seen from Sione.
Yeah. No, I think we've got a young guy, Setu too. Kind of reminds me of Katoa in our cup team, and but no, I respect Katoa's game. It's very he's very physical. I love the physical nature of him, the speed. He does have his odd moments, like all wingers.
He does have Katoa does have a couple of moments. Ronaldo,
he's always got an error in him. Yeah.
Ronaldo is.
Ronaldo's tidied up his game a bit, eh? Do you?
Yeah, tidied up. He's a great. So Ronaldo's on track to be the top try scorer ever if he plays enough games.
Ooh.
Yeah.
He's scoring at an outrageously fast rate. But the Sharks will have a couple of years.
Yeah.
We're saying all this too, bro. Like, obviously we got Dallin and Sione Katoa as both our wingers, but Stone Street, bro, he's a player that's, come in and he's done a great job, bro. A decent sized body on that side. Just high work rate. What do he could definitely be in an argument here, form wise, whenever he stepped up in the Sharks jersey, he's looked really, really solid, bro. Your thoughts on him?
He's fast. So one thing you need in most rugby league teams is just that player who's on the wing who, when you pass it to them, they just score. And without Stone Street in the team, we don't have one of those. He could have had 10 tries in 7 games. He could have had a hat-trick in a couple of games so far. He blew it. And now there's an amusing thing the Sharks fans talk about is how Stone Street scores with 2 hands because he dropped one that he shouldn't have dropped. But look, for the value,
they all have that.
Like in terms of the salary cap and value for money and building a team, you would actually pick Stone Street above all of the other wingers that we've just mentioned in terms of value and how much he costs on the salary cap.
Yeah, value-wise, he's nice.
Okay, let's do right center. So we're not sure. Should we just go with CNK on the right, Ash?
We'll go CNK on the right just to play that. And even for you, bro, I'd even argue though too. Who do you think you'll keep Iro on the left side, or would you push Iro like? Sifa's going to play his opposite side, right? Like usually Sifa is a left side center as well.
I'm not sure which side they're going to end up playing. They may not want to upset Iro's form and where he's been playing. But in terms of the meters that Iro has been making and trucking it out and just the effort plays and all those sort of things, I'm not sure how you could not pick the Sharks, both centers. They're just like absolute beasts, those guys. Like Talakai single-handedly beats teams. Like it's
tough. It's tough for us, bro. Here, Chauncey for me, I don't like Chauncey at center. I know a lot of Warriors fans wanted to push him to a center these days and that, but I just don't like seeing him there. But Ali Leotar is probably our best one that we can elevate to you, say maybe him or Iro. But Iro is he's impressed me this year. Like the start this year, I did my predicted team list for the Sharkies, and I had Sifa Talakai, and Sharkies fans were like, Iro, like he was going to be the guy. And I was like, I've watched him in Newtown. Like I watch a lot of Newtown. Like we've had some really good battles in our New South Wales Cup against Newtown, and Vailia versus Iro was a really cool little we had in Cup last year. And I've seen Iro get skinned multiple times. I was like, if you want to fix your defense, Sifa's great defensively. I don't I know he has these off moments sometimes, but I think he's not too bad.
No, his sideways movement's a bit bad. Is
a bit bad?
Yeah, that's the problem with Sifa. Now, you could also, if you want to, compromise, Sifa Talakai is the best bench player in the NRL now.
Yeah, he's a beast. He's a beast.
He covers the backs. And also he's forward play and just his runs and all that sort of stuff. Like if we were picking a team, let's
go Talakai Iro though.
I think they're better than us. Like there's no.
You can't Nico Clockstead. Like come on, come on.
Maybe no,
I won't have this slander. I will not have this slander. No. You're Raiders, bad man. Don't do this.
Fair enough. Okay, let's go to the halves. We usually do best halves, whether they're halfbacks or 5/8s, doesn't matter. But
fair enough.
Out of those three, Atkinson, Metcalf, and Trindle, who would you have to pair with?
Well, geez,
I'd say Trindle. Trindle's been consistent, is he? He's been quite.
Who's consistent?
Trindle. He's been pretty solid.
Trindle's got a really good kicking game. He's been quite consistent. You're right, and his defense is quite good. If you have you also have the experience. Like Sean Johnson and Trindle have actually played together quite a bit for the Sharks a few years ago. and you've got, the attacking, running Sean Johnson with the more organising play of Braden Trindle. We probably have to pick Braden Trindle because he beat out Metcalf for the Sharks a few years ago, but there's not much in it.
Yeah. And even on form, technically I'd probably give it to both your halves, but like if we're going to give one to yesterday, we have to give one to you guys. Like,
I would have loved to have seen Sean Johnson with Daniel Atkinson, though. That would have been interesting. Why don't we make it Daniel Atkinson just because it's a more interesting team?
Yeah, last year Sean Johnson with Atkinson would have been fairly interesting. Even if we just put our halves pairing though, if we had like Metcalf and Sean Johnson and put in that last year's Sharkies team, I reckon that would have been pretty cool as well. So
that would have been pretty good. All right. Well, obviously we're picking Noah Blake.
Yeah, AFB.
Yeah, I would have to.
And who's the next best prop?
I'll go the war on this one. It has to be our front two, brother, and it can't be anything else.
Wow. Okay, what's your argument there, Baldo?
Oh yeah, Mitch Barnett, he's pretty good actually.
He's a beast, eh?
He's not as good as you think, but he's good.
You don't think so?
Well, I don't think anyone could think any player is as good as you now think Mitch Barnett is. It's actually possible for me to think he's as good as you think. Look, the Sharks starting front row has been a problem for us all season. And if we had both of those guys, they would be the starting front rowers for us. So they would definitely be in there. And then we'd have a superb, bunch of interchange forwards with, Rudolph and Williams and Hamlin-Ueli and Hazleton and Royce Hunt. Pretty good form for us. So it's going to be tough.
I know you're going to save this for tomorrow, but like AFB, he's your foundation, front row piece, and you can switch it up how you want based off of that kind of, that him and build around him and what balances out his skill set. And, so I think there's a lot to look forward to for you guys.
Well, we've seen the Sharks be successful with a forward of that caliber previously with Andrew Fafita.
Oh, yeah,
very cool.
How good is Jazz Tomatia here in the comments? At Boulder, you're on drugs, bro. Barnett is that good, lol.
I love you, Jazz. We love you, Jazz.
It's such a good comment. I love cop and shtick, but I'm going to stand by my comment, Jazz, which is no one can think that Mitch Barnett is as good as Ash thinks.
Yeah, bro, he's a freak, man. He's been like AFB individually has been incredible statistically, but I would have Mitch Barnett as our best player this season by far.
Yeah, fair enough.
Well, it might be a crazy take, but for sure,
Blake Rayleigh's going to be the hooker. I think lots of mine, boys. I don't think
he's so underrated, bro. He is so underrated, Blake Brayley. 80 minutes, bro. Small body in the middle, but he works so tirelessly there.
He's also been running it a lot more. So the last couple of weeks with Nico Hines and Braden Trindle out, he's certainly taken the team by the scruff of the neck. I would say we do this thing on our channel called the tiers, where I rank the players based on the.
I love it.
Ash, you'd really like it if you've seen any NFL Nick Wright stuff on First Things First. It is basically stealing
100%.
that guy's entire shtick. So we did Game of Thrones style Sharks players, like a tiers thing. And I was sending Tony Rudolph to the wall, and I'm like, Nico Hines was Daenerys Targaryen because he's so beautiful. And like, ridiculous analogies. So
this is bad.
I'd say Brayley's the top. Brayley's the top Shark right now.
Yeah.
He
always scares me, that guy, man. Like I've always been afraid of Brayley. He's a good player.
The thing is, an 80-minute hooker just makes such an enormous difference. So when you've got an 80-minute hooker and then you've got Cam McInnes who can play 80 minutes if you need him to, but really he's a one-change forward, it means that the Sharks just play these absolute massive dudes on the bench. It sets up the style of play. So we're playing more to the advantage of the squad that we've got. So, and look, you're going to struggle to convince me that Nicola and Wilton shouldn't be the back rowers either.
I would
right now. Yeah,
you're not
Nicola's for sure. Wilton's the best. He's the best line running. I love Wilton, bro. He's one of the better line running edge back rows in the comp at the moment too. I probably couldn't have him over Kurt Capewell currently right now either. So you probably got it right.
Kurt Capewell on the bench though, he's pretty good.
Well, he's gone on the bench,
we try to keep the benches. Like I know we try to keep the benches to the actual bench players, but yeah, I mean.
Oh, right. Got it. Okay.
Capewell's been good for us, but so we're going to go Nico to Wilton. I haven't watched Wilton this year, but I'm sure he's been solid. he struggled with like what's his name, Moreland next to him last year because that channel we just destroyed it the whole every time we played it.
Well, when we had Moreland with Talakai, that was just disastrous.
Mm.
It was just like brutal. There's like those guys let in like 5 tries in like half an hour or something. So
Yeah. Okay, Walker versus McInnes.
you are going to try and tell me Dylan Walker's a good footballer. That guy's absolute rubbish.
You don't like Dylan Walker? No way. Hey, he's not manly Dylan Walker anymore, Bala. He's not manly. He's not manly. That's blasphemy around here. If we got ball playing, I got Dylan Walker all day, though.
Yeah.
But if we go,
depends on the shape of the team.
It really does. It really does, bro. And like, I was making the argument that Dylan Walker probably had a little bit of like a smoky sniff to Origin this year if they wanted like that utility that can play anywhere. Because he's a guy that he's probably very similar to Cam McInnes as well, where, you get an injury in the centers, you probably trust him, chuck him out to the centers because he, came up as a center. You could put him at 6 if you need to, put him at 13. Sure, like if we run out of front row forwards, I'm sure that he'll get out and do it. And Cam McInnes is very similar in that aspect as well. But I will not have that Dylan Walker slander. He's a Warriors Dylan Walker. He's not manly Dylan Walker. There's a total difference.
What is who's been more informed on?
I think Cam McInnes is probably a little bit. I would agree with you. I think Cam McInnes is there, but I just think Dylan Walker is still a good player. He's just not there yet.
Yeah, the slander for he's not a good player. I can't live with that. But I'll give it to McInnes. But that is complete blasphemy on this channel.
Love you, Baldo.
Captain Cam is like bloodied and injured. Like, come on, you guys, if it was flipped and you guys had Cam McInnes, you guys
we would love him.
You'd love him. He's bleeding and he's cut and he was like,
like the Michael
Lucker and he's like,
he's Mitch Barnett, just smaller.
Yeah.
Probably that's right. Probably. That's probably right. And then
I think a lot of these as well is like you're in the top 4, we're in the bottom. We have to square it up based on.
Well, that's true, but look, this would be pretty good. This would be a premiership winning team.
It's a good team, eh? It's actually a solid squad.
It's a smoky for a grand final. Like if you added all the pieces together, it would kind of like be quite dangerous. Okay, let's go bench. So best 4. We just do best 4 players. So out of those 8, who are your best 4? So you got Jack Williams, Royce Hunt, Hamlin Uele, Hazelton, Lusick, Ale, Tavanga, Sifakula.
Well, I can't say that I know your bench brilliantly well. So why don't I describe my bench and then I'll let you go. So Jack Williams is defensively excellent. He can play kind of edge back rower out of pinch if you need him to. He does have an error in him and a penalty in him, which makes him a little frustrating and can be a little bit polarizing for the Sharks fans. So that's Jack Williams. Royce Hunt is an absolute beast. So his runs are very for feet up like, and he is incredibly difficult to deal with. And the Sharks this season have looked out of matches, and then we brought Royce Hunt on, and then we've just looked like that we're winning. So Royce Hunt would be the strongest of those 4 bench players for the Sharkies for mine. Braden Hamlin-Uele is he's been a little bit out of form the last maybe year and a half and has been a little bit injury prone with his knee. So typically I would have thought that Hamlin-Uele would have been our starting front rower, but he hasn't. He's been unseated by Kafusi. He still has the potential to crash play and eat up some meters and be pretty devastating to deal with. And he did do that try celebration where he did the rock with the people's elbow that time. Absolutely brilliant. And then Tommy Hazelton is just massive and incredibly difficult to deal with close to the line with those crash plays. So he's a bit of a cult. I
love Thomas.
Yeah, he's a bit of a cult hero amongst all of the Sharks fans. So I'd think I'd probably, if we're building a team, Royce is a definite. Hazelton, if we want the strategy of the big bopper, and Jack Williams on the defense is where I would land. So I can't claim to be an expert on your bench, so I'll leave you guys to just play fair and decide who you think should go in.
So the tough one for me, bro, is the one that I love that's sticking out, but he's a guy that's probably played the least amount of football on our bench, is Sifakula. If you watch a little bit of him recently, a very high impacts, very mobile forward for a big body. For me, for sure, bro. I got Jack Williams, I got Royce Hunt, and Thomas Hazelton with it. Like, I think those are definitely the three that I would pick off the bench of you. I love Thomas Hazelton as a front rower and did amazing for my Supercoach team mid part this year. So, shout out to Thomas Hazelton. I would probably elevate either Statistical or Jazz Tavanga in that spot for Uele. I just think, I agree with you. I think Uele's unfortunately just fallen off just a tad. Yep. I think injuries really creeped into his game and really probably his fitness has just died down a bit. Maybe with a nice preseason under his belt next year, he can run into next year and have a really good combination, maybe off the bench, bring him with AFB, stuff like that. You still have a massive forward pack there. But Levon, what would you reckon? Would you go Sif or you go Jazz?
I'm gonna go Sif. Yeah.
All right.
Just a potential player, and Jazz kind of had a few errors, but that's the makeup of the team. It's pretty awesome team. I mean, we make one in the back line, which is fair. Got SJ in the halves. Front row is probably the only area we really dominate.
Oh,
you're pretty much whole back row and your hooker, and you dominate the bench. So I think that's fair. I think that's a fair team.
That's a pretty good team. Hey, boys, I'll just call out a comment that came through calling out that my pronunciations on Nikora, which I've just never been able to get right. And the guys
Nikora, Nikora is the name. Yeah, Nikora.
So, apologies for not getting that right. You are not the first person to call me out on that.
Don't stress, brother. Aussies, we kind of struggle with rolling of the tongue. I had the same sort of thing. I've been blessed to have a Samoan missus that's helped me with that, but it's a struggle.
Blocker Roach has infiltrated your ears, so
fair enough comment. I get called, so my last name's Bolderman, and I get Boldy Man. I'm
it's the emphasis on the so Nikora it's all Nikora. One evenly instead of Nikora, so it's no emphasis on the or, it's just Nikora. A little bit of emphasis on the knee, but just Nikora.
Nikora.
I think what helped me a little bit, bro, is when I sound it out, it's more of a D sound instead of an R sound, like a D, kind of rolls your tongue a little bit better than saying an R. The Nikora, and it's say a D sort of sound. But it's a tough one, bro.
Nikora. Who was a blocker in the? Let me know how I'm going. Watch the ET stand later and let me know if I've got that one.
Same with Iro technically, but it's Idol. That's the technical. Idol, yeah. But Iro is just that's from so back in the day. Yeah, but
I think the problem that you face is as a commentator like us, that we're you're just trying to get through your words so quickly and just say that Wilton Barnett, Brayley Kennedy, Katoa, it's a little bit, and when you're used to speaking a particular way, it can be tricky to just train yourself to it's like the Americans with the defense and the offense. It's just that's their way of speaking. So it's a little bit But thanks for calling me out.
Tagatese was always a good one instead of Tangata Ese, but Batu Day, Varu Vai, it was always
Right, so I'll tell you a story on Tagatese. Tagatese is my all-time favorite Sharks player.
Right?
He was great. All time. And I was mentioning, we sit in the ET stand 3 rows back from the Sharks bench. So I am well known for calling out to the Sharks players and giving them a bit of stick and trying to really fire them up. So there was a match where Ben Barber came off the bench and I was calling out to him, come on, Barber, you're going to turn the game. You're going to do a chip and chase and we're going to win. So Ben Barber goes onto the field, I kid you not, he does a chip and chase. Billy Slater or someone catches it and runs down the whole length and we lose on the spot, right? So what happened was Tagatese or Tagatese, I'm not going to even try. Tagger used to come off the bench and I always used to rile him up come on, Tagger. And I'm dropping L-bombs on him and I love you, Tagger. You're so much more handsome. Completely ridiculous stuff, right? For years. And, he's played for us for 4 or 5 years. So the Sharks win a premiership and he's sitting down there at the bar at Northies at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. and countless number of fans have come up to him. And I come up to him and I go up to I got to go say good day to Tagger. I was Tagger, I reckon you know who I am. And he's like, do I? And I'm like, come on, Tagger. And he goes, oh my God, you're that guy.
So I do listen.
He was like, oh yeah, you pump me up. We pretend like we don't hear you, but we hear you. We know. We know who you are. Tagger was buying me he was buying me drinks after the grand final to say, oh, yeah, you're an absolute legend. But, Tagger was just He was just so tall and big, and it was a shame at the end of that 2016 season. He was a little bit out of form. He helped us a lot during the streak, but towards in the final series, he just was a little underdone coming back to the finals, and we played him maybe a week or two earlier than we would have if it was regular season. But legend.
Yeah.
Freak.
Yeah, absolutely.
Freak.
Absolutely. Okay, man, that wraps up, guys. The you guys dominated. That's all, but that's it's fair and it's great and
makes sense, really.
Makes sense. Let's not
you'll have to send me that list, Levon. We'll put it up on the ET stand in a minute.
Nikora, yes. And I can't wait for him back in the Kiwis as well. That's the only time him and Mulatalo are the only time I kind of really like those guys. I'm so happy Ronaldo's not playing because he just irks me the wrong way. His celebrations, how he does his big Superman. And I'm like, oh mate, I'm kind of happy he's not playing, to be honest.
Fair enough. He's very good.
I love him.
Nah, he's great. He's absolutely awesome. We're gonna do score prediction now, man. So look, pretty simple for me. I'm going Sharks 13 plus. I just feel like we couldn't pull it together last week at home, and I know Bulldogs is a different team, and Sharks might be a few more opportunities for us to score, maybe. But just Shark Park, I think you guys are hungry for something, to get that top four sealed. You got a bit more to fight for. I feel like our boys have, after a long season, we're kind of, reached kind of that point where we just want to get, to Mad Monday and kind of get into the off season. But I just feel you guys will just be. We might start off strong. We've had moments where we started strong, and we're in the match early on, and it just kind of falls or peters away towards the end. Yeah. So I'm still thinking it's going to be 13 plus Sharks. Ash, what's your thoughts there, bro?
Yeah, I'm also hopeful that we can bring it really, really close. But I can't really go off the form that we've going into this game and say that we're going to probably come up ahead. Exactly like you were saying, Levon. Like we've been really underperforming, with the side that we have on paper. A lot of reasonings for that. But coming into this one, I'm probably thinking around that 30 to 20 sort of range, 30 to 18. I think that we can hopefully get up to that 18 to 20 range of the Sharkies. But again, touching on stats before the show, the Sharkies are a top 3 defensive side in the competition right now too. So, defensively, it's not like, we can really find a home with Moylan on that edge or anything like that these days. These days, we're going to have to be a bit more slick. So, I think the Sharkies can definitely get up to that 30 mark on us, the way we've seen if the Doggies can get 30. I think the Sharkies can get to that area, but I'm hopeful that our boys will turn up and hopefully give it a red hot crack and get fairly close or even pip the Sharkies. What do you reckon? Is it going to be the Sean Johnson Cup there, Baldo? What's the go there? What do you think?
Well, it's not the Luke Metcalf Cup, is it?
I like it.
I think he'll certainly get a lot of respect at Shark Park, Sean Johnson.
Standing ovation or a clap onto the field, or what do you reckon?
I think the Sharks players will do a guard of honour for him.
Yeah, guard of honour. Cool.
They didn't do that. And I think he'll be well applauded post-match. And I'd expect him actually, I'm mates with the game, with the ground announcer. I'd expect him to try and actually interview him, actually. Why not? So I'd expect him to get a good run. But I think the Warriors will start spirited. I think you guys will be in it for a while. The Sharkies are pretty fit. So I think the fitness of the Sharkies leading into the end of the season, given that you guys have fallen out of the race for the top 8, I think that energy in the last 20, 25 minutes, I think might drop off. But I think Sean Johnson will put in a strong performance and Metcalf will be good. But you never know with the Sharks. You just never know.
What I would say too, bro, is you're 4 games on a trot now. Is there an opportunity that you maybe want to loss before finals and maybe you want to give it to us?
Well, I'm banned from talking about streaks on the ET Stand podcast. They don't let me talk about the streaks anymore. So I think we're going to lose next week. So I think they'll come into it this week.
So why are you banned? Are you jinxing the side when you talk about streaks?
Because I made us do a segment on all-time greatest Cronulla Shark streaks when we won 7 in a row. And so we literally had, then we did this one, then we had this one. Then we literally talked through each streak, and then we immediately lost.
Well, feel free talking about the streak this week, 4-9 coming into this game.
Well, I think that'll happen. And yeah, Jazz, you're right. I think the New Zealand Kiwi players will do it haka, but I didn't want to preempt that or try and that happen. So I think that will happen naturally. But yeah, that's what I expect to happen. Or maybe we'll see WWE style. And Fanua Blake will come out, and then he'll like turn, and he'll like switch
turn heel,
and then he'll be like playing for us, and you'll all your 8 substitutes will be done, and then he'll start grab the ball and just run to the other end, and then just pass the ball to
that'd be the biggest heel turn of the year if he did that. Oh my!
It would be all in New Zealand would hate him after that.
It's like Roman Reigns turning on Cody Rhodes or something like that. It's maybe a bloodline or something like that. There you go. Imagine that. That'd be so good.
Hopefully it being high shot onto Royce Hunt, bro, and he gets suspended for the first 5 games the next year, huh?
Imagine that.
Tonga's playing, so he'll get at least 2 games taken off, unfortunately. So.
Imagine he head highs Nico Hines, breaks his jaw or something, and then suspended.
Friendly fire. Mate, I just want to quickly just talk about your finals run. You are sitting 3rd. I mean, Panthers are right on your heels. Do you think you'll finish 4th or 3rd? And if whatever you think you'll end up, what's the best? Do you want to try and face the Storm or the Roosters in the first week? Like kind of that. I mean, actually, no, I'm taking that back. The Roosters are the same. All 3 of you on the same points.
We're all on the same points.
So you're actually fighting for that 2nd spot, which would be massive.
We are fighting for the 2nd spot. So we ran a few numbers. Ash, you'll be proud of us that we did this. And I worked out that actually it's not the top 4 that's statistically significant. It is the top 3 that is statistically significant.
Wow.
So my thinking on that is that the team that plays first beats 4th typically, and then has to play 2nd or 3rd team, which is a harder match. Whereas the 2nd or 3rd team, if they get a win, then they only have to play 4th to make the grand final. So actually, and typically the 4th team's not as good as the 1st team. Whereas the 1, 2, and 3, I think they've won like 5 out of each of the last 17 premierships or something like that. So I was looking that for the Sharkies, our best part of the grand final would actually be finishing 4th, playing Melbourne, beating Melbourne, and then taking on the Roosters in week 3 to make the grand final. Maybe.
Wow. Well, you beat the Roosters at a high point this year. Who's to say that? Like, up tempo, you can do it. In like out of those sides there. Obviously, the Panthers have definitely been the ones that have the rub over you. But again, that's not anything to say because they have the rub over everyone at the moment. It is what it is. Even though this year they're starting to see a little bit of cracks, but even though they're still a great organisation. You and Melbourne, you've actually won 2 games against Melbourne this year. They're you won both games against Melbourne this year, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And that's a major tick to have, right? And so I agree with you. I think that's probably your best run through. I think that you can do Melbourne. Panthers is the thing you want to get away from, right?
Well, I expect to either win in week 1 or week 2 and bow out in week 3. I think we can beat any of the bottom 4 teams, 5 through 8. The Sharks play, back to your point on the Panthers, the Panthers just got a better Sharks team. Like the big forwards aren't big enough and strong enough to get over the top of the Panthers, and then the slickness of the Sharks backline isn't Moylan Johnson, so we don't have those moves to get around them. And I've actually got this point that I actually think Jerome Luai is the top NRL player. And so Jerome Luai played halfback. Well, if you think about it, what was it? Samoa never made a World Cup anything until he turned up. Penrith didn't win anything until Luai turned up. And New South Wales had lost for years against Queensland until Luai turned up. So, and if you go and look at the winning percentages of all NRL players right now, Jerome Luai has the highest win percentage of any player over 50 matches.
Wow. He's a freak, man. He's a freak. He's so underrated. Is he your 6 of the year, you reckon? Do you reckon he'll get 6 of the year? Because he played a little bit of 7. Do you reckon they'll hurt him in those opportunities for Dally M?
Well, I don't think Jerome Luai is that fussed about whether he's 5'8" or halfback.
Four premierships is fine, yeah.
But yeah, I think the West Tigers are instantly top 8 material next season with Jerome Luai. Instantly.
That's a good. We'll clip that one. We'll clip that one. That's a good
one.
We'll come back to you on this one.
We'll come back to you on that one. So,
yeah. Sharks. You have Roosters at Shark Park to get redemption for. Was it last year?
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
you need to have that one.
Yeah,
you need to overcome that one.
Yeah, we also need to beat the Cowboys and then South Park. Yeah, God. So
the Cowboys.
We've lost to everyone in the playoffs at some point. Like, it's heartbreaking. And we just, like, all we've got is that we beat Melbourne one time in a grand final and we can beat Canberra. That's it. Like, come on, it's not exactly a, like, brilliant final pedigree.
Oh, mate, just going back to that 0-2 game. Oh, that was one of my favorite games. It was a great game. It was a great game.
For a long time, that was the highest attendance of any game in the National Rugby League or Rugby League that wasn't a grand final for a long time.
You know why? Do you know why?
Why? Because the Warriors gave out free tickets to anyone with passports. But I'd say what we do on these, we do this thing called Classic Cronulla Chronicles, where we go back and look at past matches. If you ever go and look back at that Warriors versus Sharks match, I'll come on the channel and we'll have a look back at that game, and I'll go through the pain of that.
It was a wonderful. It was a wonderful game. And I know it's for our history,
with 50 seconds to go, we were going to score. We were going to score at the end. Carlo got that bullshit thing.
Carlo went through. Yeah.
Shout out Carlo.
It was a great game. It was a great spectacle, man. And you need two teams to make a great game. So.
That's true. Was a lot of good fun.
No, but thank you, my man. Thank you for coming on, Baldo. It's been great to have you on, and we look forward to, as soon as that draw comes out for us next year. We'll book in those 2 dates, man.
We'll get you on, baby.
We'll
come back on with us.
You guys are good fun. You're a lot better than those Cowboys or the West Tigers guy.
Oh yeah, wobbling Troy. Yeah,
what are you doing?
That wobbling guy.
Shout out wobbling in the chat.
Yeah, wobbling in the chat. We love you, brother.
Sounds good.
Very good, man. No, but yeah, just quick shout out, guys. Go follow right now.
Yeah, we're live in 45 minutes. So I've got to go prep the show right now. We're live.
Okay. But go follow.
And move on. If you can send me that grab of like the combined Warriors Sharks team we just came on with.
Okay, I'll just quickly send that to you. But go, and Ash is going to do a spot on there, so be ready for that video. But go and like and subscribe right now to ET Stand Podcast. Okay, guys, help them get their numbers up. No doubt. You know, this YouTube stuff is blooming hard work, and I wish there was more. You probably noticed with your EPL stuff, it just a lot more interest. Maybe, I don't know.
Oh yeah, I got thousands of views on the Nottingham Forest Garibaldi Red podcast. Yeah, I turn up in Nottingham. More people know me in Nottingham than know me down at bloody Cronulla.
It's a tough gig in rugby league, man. I know it is on YouTube, but bro, bump these guys up. And
help us get we're trying to crack 500 subscribers in 6 months, which is pretty good. Like we're
that's huge.
We're the top Shark YouTube channel, but the Sharks are also not as well supported as some of the other teams. So it does tell you pretty quickly which teams are the most supported. Poor Sharkies.
But still, this is a tough grind. I mean, you guys, we've done over 100 videos maybe this year. I'm not sure if it's close to that, but streams every week. The hours you put into it, you know.
Yeah,
it's tough work, bro.
It's tough work. So please, everyone, if you're in the chat, go over there and give the brothers a like. Go and support Ash as well on this video coming out probably Wednesday or Thursday.
Wednesday or Thursday. Yeah, get on that one. It'll be good.
And we'll get Baldo back on once we beat them next week. No, I'm just
that'd be good. That'd be perfect.
Beautiful.
All right, fellas, well, you want to kick me out or so I can go? I'll go.
Yeah, we'll kick you out, man. Well, thank you very much, man. Take care. We'll wrap up here.
Appreciate you, bro.
For everyone's second team. Guys, you're absolute gentlemen, absolute legends. It's been a pleasure being on the show. Lots of fun. The comments were brilliant, far more learned than our ones. And we'll
you're a beast.
Yeah, we'll see you guys soon.
Absolutely, man.
Cheers, my bro. You've been good fun, man. Take it easy. Absolute legend there.
Mate. Baldo just reached out to me and wanted to connect. And it's great, bro. That's what we're about at the Wise Up TV. We want to connect with other creators and that are open to doing it. And just a quick side note, guys. Me and Ash are part of a group chat of all the Warriors content creators. We've got Warriorholic, Warriors Fan TV, Ruin Hammer. We're going to try and get a stream together of all of us, definitely at season's end, to try and give everyone's opinion on one stream, and we can talk it out and go over the tough questions and try and give you some answers. I think it's going to be a great stream. It's going to come out in probably 2 or 3 weeks' time. Not sure what platform yet, but whatever platform it's on, it will be great to have everyone's opinion on that, which I think, especially after this type of year, we need we need a lot of talking around that, and it'd be great to have everyone possible on that we possibly can. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, bro. Exactly. We all grow together. The rising side lifts up all ships, and I think we've got an amazing fan base for an amazing team too. Like, the Warriors fan bases, for the Warriors YouTubers, I think the Warriors YouTubers probably do it just as good as any other team. So appreciate all you guys. You guys are absolutely amazing.
And Wobbling, if you are out there, I know you probably maybe left, but Wobbling, if you are there, we're going to connect with you obviously as well next year. And
jump on him.
There's just some really great creators out there. So anyway, man, that wraps up everything. Man, nearly the 2 hours there. Look, guys, I'm not sure how many we're looking at, but we wanted to get to 1,500 before this live stream on Saturday. It might not reach that. That's fine. Yeah,
it's a goal.
It's a goal. It's a goal. We're 40 off, I think. So hopefully, if you guys can help us, if you haven't subscribed, please hit that subscribe. Memberships we just talked about. We're going to add some more layers to it. We've got members only Mondays next week. So we want to start to really service and provide for our members. We'll do the Discord. We'll get that going. But yeah, anything else for you, Ash? That's top of your head, kind of. Yeah.
Nah, bro, off the top of my head, bro, hopefully this is a really good game this weekend. And yeah, again, hopefully you guys enjoy the stuff we're bringing to the channel as well, and all the little features we're going to be adding in. As I said, guys, we're not leaving anyone that's not a member behind, but all the members, we do want to give you something that's for, your hard-earned money and stuff like that you guys will enjoy. So feel free, again, as I said before, let us know in the comment section or down below any ideas you want to come up with. I won't say that we're going to do every one of your ideas, guys, but any ones that we really do enjoy, it would just open up a brainstorming session that me and Levon can figure out more for you guys in the future. But you guys are absolutely incredible as always, and allow us to have the opportunity to have the ET stand and all that on there. You guys put us on a platform for him to see what we do, and we appreciate you guys more than anything. So feel free, guys, if you want to become a member, go join down below. $5.99 a month. A coffee, one coffee, bro. One coffee you can go without, right? And it's mainly just a big supporter of the channel, right? Me and Levon put a lot of time into this channel, and I hope you guys see that with the quality that was hopefully bringing to you in the future. So appreciate you guys.
Absolutely. And just quickly, Ash is going to be a supporter of the Dolphins this Saturday.
So yeah, guys, I won't be able to make the live stream this Saturday, the last live stream, and I do apologize for that, but I will be taking my dad out to the Dolphins Broncos game for his Father's Day present. So hopefully I don't know what I'll support. I'll just wear my orange jersey. Fuck it, bro. Up the Waz, baby.
Fins up. Nah. Go enjoy, man. I mean, I always love going to Suncorp no matter what game it is. It's a great place to watch footy. So enjoy, man. So guys, you'll be with me on Saturday night. Not sure if we'll do the full credit. We might do full credit. Yeah, it's tough because it's going to be finishing around 11:30. I don't want to keep everyone up too late, but jump in for the watch along. We'll be here. So come along, hang out, and we'll be there for the watch along on Saturday night, and we'll continue to do our show next week. And like I said, prepare for that content creators stream. We're going to break that down as well. So yes, Ash,
I would chuck this up there, bro. What's the plan for the bye week? So me and Levon have planned out a lot of different things. We're definitely going to be running through the finals too, bro. We're going to be talking about the finals, talking about a couple of teams and stuff. There probably won't be too many videos left, right, and center as you usually know, but there will be definitely Q&As about the Warriors. We'll be running for our cup side too. Obviously, our cup side still got an opportunity. But even in the off season, we got internationals we can talk about. New Zealand, Australia, Samoa, Tonga. We still got more content coming for you guys, so don't stress. We'll probably have a little break in between.
We're going to do even squadless. I was thinking we're going to do that tier stuff again. I know we did it midway. We're going to do the tiers again. So let's kind of see where the tiers are at. We're going to do the members only Monday. So jump in that chat for our members. We're going to do a members live stream as well. I want to capture as many people's voices about how they view this. The season's gone. We share our opinions. It's only fair that we hear what you guys feel as well. And so, NRLW, we'll be on NRLW next year. Absolutely.
100% we will.
We will also be doing, my man, Tamaki Warrior, who will be involved in our academies, guys. He's really onto it. So be ready for some content around that space early next year, pretty much. So yeah, we're going to be really pushing hard. And we know we want to tighten up and get everything right. And get as much quality for you guys as well. Film your 100-meter sprint. I think Ash is going to beat me all day. I'm so out of fitness, and I'll just.
I'm way out of it too.
I'll pull a hammy.
I'm way out of it too, bro. I haven't been to the gym for about a year now, so I'm gone, bro.
What's the one, the baseball one, and they let the guy run first, and he's got to make it all the way around, and that sprint, he like chases them down. Man, I might need to be like, if it's 100 meters, I might need to be on the 60-meter line, man. It might just beat the person chasing me. I don't know. I'm not that quick. Yeah.
I'm not that quick, bro. I'm not that quick.
Come on, Ash, man. You play? What did you play? Centers, wings, fullback?
Yeah, I played a bit everywhere, but hey, bro, I'm sure you got some toe to you. Look at you.
Man, I've lost it, man. But no, awesome, man. Team Mackie, try and get some players on the show next season. You're up there with SCNZ Sky Sport. We will, man.
Appreciate it, bro.
We appreciate that. We don't think of ourselves that way, but like we do. We want to try and push for more content. So yeah, we'll do our best, man, and appreciate you guys.
I'm waiting until the off season before I try to get Vani on. NRLW fullback, my wife's cousin, Vania Polite. I'm probably waiting until the off season, because I don't really want to, annoy her during her season and stuff. I wanted to play her to her fullest potential. In the off season, we'll talk about, she was an inaugural NRLW warrior, so we'll get her on the channel sometime soon too. So get excited for that interview.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for our mods as well. Tahi, appreciate that love. Jazz,
as always,
you guys are awesome. And like, I want to get you guys on the stream. I know you might be a bit shy or whatever, but I want to acknowledge you guys in person at least this year. So jump on one of those members' lives if you feel like it. But we're definitely going to do that. So we'll leave it there, people. Ash, enjoy your weekend, my man. You got down on tomorrow at 7:30. So Ash,
we got down on us tomorrow.
You got content for the right through to finals, at least with my bro Brody. So always checking for that, for all your tips, everything.
Get excited.
How's the tipping been going, bro? The tips been working?
Yeah, fairly well, bro. I think we're fairly positive each and every way. Bro, Killer should be killing. I think Brody's hit on a couple of really high odd ones this season too, guys. If you aren't on them, make sure you are on them for your chance to win something big and to add to our membership.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, yeah, no, we appreciate the love from Killer and anyone. But, Killer's been banking. Killer. You might have to get Killer on the stream, man, because he's he knows the game. He knows the betting game very well.
He could become our CEO, bro. He's basically paying over us at the moment, bro.
Killer, we love you, brother. We love you. Okay, we'll leave it there, guys. Nearly 2 hours. Enjoy the stream. Give us a like, subscribe. Like I said, help us get to 1,500. We'll shut up now. We've been talking too long. But take care. Enjoy the game. We'll see you on Saturday for the watch along. Stay safe. Up to us. Peace.
Up the waz.
Okay, my man.